Day 10 and 11, so I have a confession to make. The episode 10 footage corrupted, so I have to merge the days together. But all I did on day 10 was make the village look a little bit cleaner. For example, look at this lovely path down to the bottom of the village. So I started the day by chopping down some trees, then I go fishing as I was running low on food, and afterwards I check out the cool cave below my house which tunnels all the way round to the other side of the mountain. Then naturally, a green sneaky boy tries to get me again, but I take him out with ease. Then I find a juicy 8 vein of iron ore. After this, I then go back to the village at night and I was toying with a creeper, but I regretted it when he blew a hole in my village. Then on my way back, I spot some villagers in need of my help, but I fall off and almost die. Then a zombie tries his luck with me, but I destroy its hopes and dreams. After I go back to the villagers and help them. This brings me to the end of day 11. Day 12. I'm starting a new project today to find some diamonds. So I start out by making a few stacks of ladders, then I dig a hole in the back of my base to start the project. I then dig down in a row of 2 blocks because if you dig down 1 block at a time, you are just asking to die. Ooh, listen to them blocks break. I then bump into a cave filled with water, in which I close off with blocks and carry on my tunnel downwards. When I get to the bottom, I start climbing back up by placing ladders all the way back to the top. Then I realise I need a cushion to break my fall, so I can get down easier. So I leave water at the bottom to fall into, like so. Then I start on my strip mine for diamonds. Note, the best Y level to mine diamonds at is minus 57. However, I did not find any diamonds on this hardcore day, but maybe I will find some tomorrow. And that brings me to the end of day 12. Day 13, I start the day by heading back down to the mine. As you can see, I mine left, I mine up, and I mine right, as I found this is the most efficient way to find diamonds. Shortly after I start mining, I actually find some, so I dig around it and see how big the vein is. But unfortunately, it was only a 2 vein, but we take what we can get. After this, I take my leave as I want to start on a new project. So I start by making a diamond pickaxe, I make my way to the room portal I found earlier in the series and start mining some obsidian. Put in the comments below what you think I'm going to make. And whilst I was mining, I got rudely interrupted by this chap, so I slice him up with my iron sword, but then he calls in for reinforcements as 3 of his friends turn up, but they are no match for me. Then I continue mining some obsidian, and I managed to get 26 pieces of it in total. This brings me to the end of day 13. Day 14, I return to the village after collecting the obsidian. I then start my new project by crafting a stone cutter. I then grab a few stacks of deep slate from the diamond mine and cut them all into different blocks. After this, I start my project, which one of my viewers, Eric I believe, guessed it is a nether portal. I then start decorating the top of the nether portal with deep slate tiles and surround the top layer of obsidian out of it. After this, I start working on the center of the project, which is the handle of the portal. At this point, you may have guessed what it is. I'm making a nether portal designed as a sword. This was my own design, as I don't really like copying other creators' builds, so I really just improvise throughout the project. So yeah, this is what it looks like so far, but I do want to add some more flair to it and finish it off soon, as it looks very plain right now. And that brings me to the end of day 14. Day 15, I start my day by going through my nether sword. I then collect a few things I need for my project, like quartz and lava. I'm not really prepared for the nether yet, so I head back for now to work on my project, which is a chicken farm. So to start off, I put a hopper leading into the chest with a building block behind it and 2 dispensers on top. Afterward, I slab the hopper and put a piece of glass on each side of the slab. I then make the glass 2 blocks tall. Then I go round to the back of the dispensers and place a hopper leading into the second dispenser, and I place a piece of carpet on top of the hopper. I then place a building block behind the hopper and then place a comparator on top of it. I put the lava bucket in the top of the dispenser, then I place 2 glass blocks between the carpet and an observer above the comparator. Then I surround it all to get the chickens in the machine and make a path for the chickens to go in the machine. And unfortunately there's no time left in this episode, so stay tuned for day 16. Day 16, I spend over half my day luring 5 chickens back to the farm I made. As you can see, it did not go to plan. I made the path for you chickens, why don't you use it? Eventually I lure them all the way back, but it's now night time. Then I managed to get them all into the machine by giving them a gentle push. There's 1 chicken, and there's the second. And then once all the chickens are in, the long part begins. I have to start breeding them until there's around 20, so this farm becomes as efficient as possible. And that brings me to the end of day 16. Day 17, I start off my day by clearing up the nether sword. Then I go out to find more chickens for the farm and gather more seed for them. Unfortunately, I do not find any wild chickens, so I went back and bred the ones in the machine. I had some time before the chickens would want to breed again, so I went down to the mine and tried to find some diamonds. Fortunately, I did not find any diamonds today. So I went back to the chicken machine and I managed to get a lot of chickens in the machine at this point, so I thought I would try out the machine. So what happens is the chickens drop the eggs into the back hopper, then the machine recognizes this and dispenses the eggs immediately onto the slab, and eventually this will spawn a baby chicken, and the larva won't hit the baby as it's too small to reach it, but when it's fully grown, the machine will recognize this and dispense larva and kill the chicken, in which the items will fall into the hopper, under the slab, and into the chest, and that brings me to the end of day 17. Day 18. I start the day by mining for diamonds, and after a few minutes I find some. Now I thought this was only about 7 or 8 diamonds. Oh, but I was wrong. I started mining it, but the vein just kept going. It was absolutely massive. And in the end I got 13 diamonds in total, so I thought, why not treat myself? I've worked hard getting these diamonds, so I made a chest plate. And then I did a bit of diamond modeling. Yeah, look at me go. After, I needed to get sand for my next project, and then I turned the sand into glass and dyed them red. Then after, I dug out a hole at the nether sword, but unfortunately, I ran out of time. So that brings me to the end of day 18. Day 19. I carry on working on my nether sword, so I surround it with red glass and deep slate. It came out nicely. Afterward, I check on my chicken farm, and I see the eggs have finally put some chickens in the machine. Now I just need to wait for them to grow up so I can get some chicken and feathers. Then I carry on working on the path down to the nether sword by using deep slate I got from the mine. But then it got dark, so I headed back home to sleep in my bed. I think this has been a very productive day. And this brings me to the end of day 19. Day 20. I start my day by hopping down to the mine to find some diamonds. I managed to find some redstone which I swiftly mine, but no diamonds unfortunately, so I head back up to the surface. Afterward, I start removing the dirt and replacing it with deep slate, and this is the end result. I think it's really shaping up nicely, and I can envision what I want my base to look like now. I also go to the top of the mountain to look down on what I've done so far. I think it looks really cool. So, to the end of the day, I check on the chicken farm, and I found one cooked chicken in there so far. See how the chicken grew up and got cooked? I'm so happy that it works. And that brings me to the end of day 20.